I should probably stop talking about how I love my t-shirt I'm wearing, and we should just jump into today's unboxing. My clothes usually match what I unbox. I don't know. I can't think of any stones that have a leopard print that looks like this.
I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but...
This is a stretch. Oh, so it's a stretch?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what is... Oh, I think I have an idea. Could it be, Snakeskin Agate? Wasn't there a movie in Dodgeball? Wasn't there, like, the snakes? The cobras?
Really?
4 Ds of Dodgeball. Dodged up. What are the 4 Ds of Dodgeball? I know the 4 Cs. What are the 4 Ds? Dodge, duck, dip. No, the 5 Cs. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
How many times have you seen that movie?
I'm embarrassed to say how many times I've seen that movie. We're not talking about gemology right now. We're talking about dodgeball.
Oh, okay.
So. All right, Snakeskin Agate. I suspect Snakeskin Agate, well, I hope it'll be like a bright color. We could see some scales. Oh, that is so cool. This is exactly what I thought it would be. Well, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more bright, but oh well. Okay, so this piece right here, it's really neat. I wish you were here to feel this. I can actually rub my fingers over the scales. It feels like there's, it feels weird. It definitely feels like different than I would have thought. I was surprised that I could feel each and every one of these scales. It's a really smooth stone. It's not that heavy. I was expecting there to be more color or maybe some sort of gemstone phenomenon, but hey, you can't win them all. But that is pretty neat. I'm curious as to if there's another box in today's show, but my production team won't tell me. Even if there isn't, we have a lot to learn about snakeskin agate. Do you like my snakeskin and my leopard print? You can hopefully see all those really, really cool scales. I was expecting when I ran my finger over that not to feel the scales. I thought it would have been like, those lines would have been deeper in the stone, but they're not. And that's really cool. That's definitely something I learned today that I wasn't expecting. What causes this? Those scales, that's just like a withering snake-like pattern. This has nothing to do with snakes. Snakes have not carved this. Snakes don't carve gemstones. But hey, I didn't name this stuff. I just get to talk about it and hold it. I get the best job. Another really awesome thing about gemology is that it gets a little wild and crazy sometimes because there's so many animals in the house. Not only my shirt and the snakeskin agate, one of my favorites is Dalmatian jasper. So it literally looks like a Dalmatian. It's a white background with like black spots. I don't know about you, but one of my favorite Disney movies is 101 Dalmatians. There's also leopard skin jasper, there's zebra stone. So if you don't like snakes, but you like Dalmatians like I do, or you like leopards and zebras, go find yourself a gemstone that is like an animal. Make sure you feed it. So as you can see with snakeskin agate, leopard, zebra, gemology has a tacky side. We've got a few too many animal prints. There's actually only one location in the United States. It's only found outside of Rome, Oregon. And to be honest, it wasn't until I got to JTV did I actually see snakeskin agate. It's not that common. It is unique. The coloring is interesting, but this, isn't something that you're gonna be able to walk into a jewelry store or even a trade show. I've been to more trade shows than I can count, and I have never seen anything like this before. So you could have a piece right here and, wire wrap it. There's a million different possibilities. Maybe if you had a smaller piece, you could figure out a way to make it into earrings, but this piece, if I was cutting it, and I'm not, I would just, make into slices. If I saw someone wearing this as an earring or a pendant walking down the street, I would probably stop and ask them what it was, because even as a gemologist, this is something I don't see that often. The world of gemstones is so vast. There is probably something I have never seen in my whole life. That's what's so cool about gemology. There's always these new discoveries and there's new minerals. There's stuff that you never think that you'll see, and I didn't think I'd ever have a piece of snakeskin agate in my hand. Just because I wouldn't facet it doesn't mean it's not fascinating. Get it? This is super pretty. It's interesting. I don't think that pattern goes deep into the stone. That to me, it looks like something only on the surface, but I could be wrong. And really the only way that we could find out is looking on a microscope or cutting the piece, and I don't want to do that. I've been in the industry, gosh, how long have I been in business? I think 9 years, and it was not until recently that I saw snakeskin agate. So it's not that common. You're pretty lucky. Here's what's awesome about our YouTube channel. You guys get to see stuff that you know, a gemologist may not ever see, or you get to learn about stuff that people may not be familiar with because we have, you know, access to all these really cool, rare, and exotic stones. And I think that snakeskin agate is one of the cool stones that we can talk about here on the show. So you have to keep watching because who knows what we'll dig up. Get it? Something really, really cool about snakeskin agate is the process. The host rock, and as you know, host rock is where it's like the rock that is holding this in the ground, can be 5 to 23 million, that's million with an M, years old, which I think is pretty cool because this rock, this could be like 5 million years old. It's found in beds called Rome beds, and those are kind of like layers of volcanic and sedimentary rock. This process, you know, it's basically from volcanoes. A lot of gemstones kind of have that similar formation. So agate is always really interesting. We've talked about that before. A variety of color, the looks that you can get with agate. Agate is actually a form of chalcedony, and chalcedony is a type of quartz, and there's different types of quartz. Another type of quartz you may be familiar with could be citrine, amethyst, ametrine. Those are a few of my favorites. I actually love quartz because I love geodes, and I've seen to find a lot of geodes that are quartz, so they're pretty cool. You guys actually have learned already about some different types of quartz. Amethyst, citrine, we've covered some geodes, we've covered great chalcedony, but if you forgot about those episodes or you haven't seen the whole thing, I actually put the links for you in the description below, so.
Only found in one place.
So one hit. Hey, this is from a volcano, so I just dropped it like it was hot. Maybe every time I drop a stone, I say it's hot, and we could drop it like it's hot.
Look out for the Snoop Dogg collab.
Oh my God, really? What gem would we cover? What gem would Snoop Dogg, I've seen he wears some chains. So maybe we could do like a diamond episode together. We could maybe make our own chains together. You know, we've talked about sources of stones, like for example, emeralds. You can find emeralds in some major pockets around the world. But this little guy, this is a one-hit wonder, at least in the United States. You can only be found outside of Rome, Oregon. So this is a rare one, or it could be rare. Who knows? With gemology, you never know when we're gonna find the next stone, the next production, how much is coming out of the ground. It is like this big gamble. Where are we gonna find a gemstone and when? Where in the world is snakeskin agate? Instead of Carmen Sandiego, it's snakeskin agate. Yeah, for all you 90s kids, forget about where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, where in the world is snakeskin agate? I'm a 90s kid. All day, every day. Wait, you know what this reminds me of? Does anyone watch Game of Thrones? This looks like grayscale. Do you remember who was the guy that had grayscale? It was in the 6th or 7th season. What season are we on? In Game of Thrones got grayscale. This reminds me of grayscale. I'm not gonna touch it. I might get grayscale. What? YouTube, there's a spoiler alert for Game of Thrones. I have snakeskin, I have grayscale. You can't hear my stomach growling.
Dang.
I know. Sorry guys, I gotta eat. I'm an athlete, I'm a gymnast. All right, everyone, I want you to take a closer look at the snakeskin. It looks like scales, and you can see some sort of white material between the scales. I also want you to take a look at the color. I think snakeskin agate's pretty cool, huh? So favorite thing about snakeskin agate is that I don't get to see this often. So for me to have this on YouTube and be able to share it with you all is a really big treat. If you want to learn more about future stones and see some cool stuff that you're probably not going to be able to see if you are, walking around a show or at a jewelry store, you definitely need to like and subscribe. You surely don't want to miss out on all the fun, cool things that we're going to have for you coming up.